are still on their way to come here. So we're very happy to have our guest, 阿姨院长 and he has been very famous in here, and he has been here for quite a while. So very happily that we can have him to share with you guys whole brand new scope of your future job, of the different conceptions of the role models, the silicon god. Okay, how? So I think because he's a celebrity here, so I'm not going to get into detail of that. Yeah, because he has been around here for quite a while, and he's my role model as well. And so I'm going to hand the microphone over to him, and I do hope that you enjoy this discussion and also the articles reading. OK， 好，那我们因为上课老师我们真的都疯疯癫癫的 ，so don't worry, and they will have fun, and they will also work fine within pairs or within small groups. So maybe they can have a discussion or ask them to challenge each other.
Okay, good.
谢谢 ，Thank you.
As long as you're comfortable, it will be fine with me. So I'm so glad to be here. This is my I would say final classes for the whole year, right? For the whole academic year. Okay, so I'm a little bit ambitious. I try to cover 3 articles, and I know that's not possible because if you want to go into detail of any one of these articles, it's going to take you hours. All right. So what I'm going to do is I show you 3 articles because I believe that they are all important. All right. So you should all know them. But obviously, because of the time constraint, we cannot finish all 3. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to discuss only 2 articles, all right? And I'll give you a 20 minutes briefing, all right, introduction to the 3rd article. The 20 minutes briefing would be on the article called The Godfather, the Silicon Godfather. And Silicon Godfather was an article published by New York Times. It was actually an interview on Morris Chen. Morris Chen, I think his Chinese name is more famous as Zhang Zhongmo, right? So that's Morris Chen. He was talking about why he came to Taiwan to establish semiconductor industry. And I'm sure that's a subject that you guys will be more interested in because you guys study science and technology, right? This thing is not working very well, so I guess I just skip it. Okay? Anyway, the interview was done about year 2000, shortly after the earthquake. Now, if you remember that we have an earthquake on 9/21, right? 9/21大地震. And then after that, I think the power was just off in 新竹科学园区, right? And then, Zhang Zhongmo was such an important person that he could pick up the phone and immediately call the premier of the country, 行政院长. His name was Xiao Wanchang. Well, I guess you guys were still babies. You probably don't know the guy, but anyway, he was the 行政院长 for Taiwan. And he called up Xiao Wanchang and asked him to send the power back to 新竹科学园区 because 新竹科学园区 was such an important place for the world, let's say, technology supply chain. All right, so when 新竹科学园区 power was cut off, almost the whole computing industry was just shut out. All right, so immediately in less than 10 days, I believe, the power was restored. Right, so let's show you how important Zhang Zhongmo is for the world and also for Taiwan computer industry and Taiwan IC industry. But anyway, I'll leave that introduction to the last 20 minutes, the final 20 minutes of this class. All right, we were talking about why he came to Taiwan to establish so-called the foundry business. Foundry in Chinese is called 晶圆代工. You know, that's the business that is invented by Taiwanese. Actually, that was the business that was introduced by Taiwanese to this world. All right, so I'll give you a brief introduction to that article. All right, so that would leave us with only 2 articles that we'll be talking about, right? The first article is what's the point of a professor, all right? And then there's an article about the future of work, right? I'm sure you all went through that, right? Did you? That article, the future of work, was an article that I gave to my students when they were in freshman orientation, right? When I was the dean for College of Social Sciences. 我当社科院院长的时候，那个文章的 Future of Work 是我给学生，就是学生一进大学我就给他们每个人发一份，然后我就说 OK， 我说这篇文章为什么你一进来我就发给你？因为because the article talked about how the job is going to be like in the future, right? So I mean, I suppose every student will go to job market and try to find a job when they graduate, right? And so they should know, you know, what kind of job. I mean, how the job is going to be like in the future. They should know that, right? So I showed you that. So let's start from that article, right? And then the second article, what's the point of a professor, was an opinion letter sent to New York Times by a professor from Emory University, right? He teaches English literature, 教英国文学, right? In the United States, Emory University. It's a university in, I believe, in Georgia.美国乔治亚州, right? And the article was talking about how the students and faculty, I mean the professors, how the teacher-students relation has deteriorated over the years, right? And certainly, you know, I've been teaching in college and studying in college all my life, and certainly I see that. So we'll talk about that article today, right? So let's start from this article. It's called "The Future of Work," right? So I believe you all read the article, right? And the reason that I want students to study that article was because this is a problem that Americans have been concerning about for over 30, 40 years. And in Taiwan, we've been talking about it for over 10, 20 years. Right? The topic was, how come all the jobs, all the nice jobs that used to be in Taiwan are moving away? I mean, our jobs have been moved to Southeast Asia, have been moved to mainland China, right? A lot of jobs have been moved there. And the reason these jobs moved there was because, hey, a lot of factory moved there, right? I mean, we used to have PC industry in this country, personal computer industry in this country. Now they're not here anymore. All the factories are in mainland China. We used to have notebook computer industry in Taiwan, right? And they're not here anymore. I mean, we moved to mainland China, right? But think about it, where did the PC industry come from? We didn't build the PC industry by ourselves. The PC industry actually came from the United States. So the United States was suffering from the same problem for longer than we do, right? I mean, we had the problem for 20 years, but United States had the problem for 40 years. I mean, starting from 40 years ago, a lot of jobs moved out of the United States and they went to Japan first. And then after Japanese finished using it, they don't want it anymore, so they send the job to Taiwan. And after Taiwan finished using the job, we send the job to mainland China, right? This is how jobs travel. Now, if that's a fact, then you should be concerned about what kind of job is going to stay in Taiwan in the future and also make good money. That is what's important, right? Also make good money. Because I can tell you right now that a lot of jobs are not going anywhere. For example, if you're a barber, you cut hair, right? If you cut hair, I'm sure you're going to have your job. I mean, people in Taiwan are not going to travel to China to get a haircut, right? If they need a haircut, they'll go to you, right? A local barber. I mean, you cannot go to mainland China to get a haircut. So for sure you're going to get your job. If you're a taxi driver, you don't need to worry about that. People in Taiwan go to mainland China and try to hail a taxi there, right? I mean, it's not going to happen because those kind of jobs are not going to move away for sure, right? But they're not paying well. Right? Taxi driver doesn't earn a lot of money, right? So even though that they will stay in Taiwan, probably don't want it. Probably don't want it. So the question is, what kind of job in the future will stay in Taiwan and they're still going to make, they're still going to earn a lot, right? So that was the main point of it. Okay, now, anybody want to take the first shot? Give me an answer on that. You did really answer, right? Any volunteer? I mean, if you're going to be this quiet, then I'm going to start pointing fingers at people, right? So what do you think? Want to say something? Have you a nice smile? You should say something. What do you think? What type of jobs will stay in Taiwan in the future and make good money?
I think we can establish the 品牌.
品牌, all right.
Example, Giant.
Okay, Giant. Okay, that's a bicycle company. All right.
We should traditional business.
Okay.
And the better quantity.
Okay.
And can transport to all over the world.
Okay. So what you are trying to tell me is that we should establish our own name brand, right? Establish our own name brand. And you give an example, Giant, bicycle producer, right? All right, but that really didn't answer my question as, if you're a student, what kind of training should you get so that in the future you get into a business, you move into an industry, you work for an industry that is going to pay you well, and that job is going to be staying in Taiwan, and you're not at any risk of losing that job to other countries. That was my question. Right? Did I make myself clear? Right? So 我的问题是，在台湾有什么样的工作，如果你去做了，那个工作会给你不错的薪水，而且将来这个工作不会跑掉。Right? This is the questions. Now, think about the area that you're studying. Right? I don't know what you're studying, but think about the area that you're studying, right? Is there this kind of jobs? 有没有这样子的工作？就这工作呢，给我不错的薪水，而且这工作不会跑不掉。I mean that's very important, right? Because otherwise the job just keep going away. All right? What do you think?
I have another idea, is not in my area of the scientists. I think the international trade company, they will still stay in Taiwan because Taiwan location is good. So no matter something, buy something into Taiwan or put something out, I think the business will stay in Taiwan.
So what type of company is that? What kind of company is that?
International trade.
Okay, so you're talking about international trade. She was talking about if you're in a business that is specializing in international trade, 国际贸易, right? I mean, that type of job will pay well and it will not go away.
Yeah.
Any other suggestion? Any other suggestion? I mean, this seems to be a topic out of your expertise, right? I mean, you guys study science and technology, really don't know much about economy. You know,